Hello, good morning.
How are you?
Really
Morning.
well, thank you.
You okay?
How are you doing?
Good to see you.
So nice to see you too. Thank you for having me here. Honestly, it's really special and great to see you again in person.
No, likewise. Here we go?
Absolutely,
Let's
yeah, I'm in
go.
your hands. Great. So lovely to have a chat with you, and I know how passionate you are about mental health, and you've gone on your own journey, haven't you, around
Yeah.
sort of discovering
What it is.
what it is
Yeah,
exactly,
I
and
mean-
how we can support not only ourselves but each other as well.
Well, that's it. I kind of have got into this world in a way that no one really should do. And I wish I wasn't associated with the word suicide. And unfortunately, that word will follow me around for a long time. The thing that happened to me in losing my best mate to suicide and losing someone that you're with every single day, I felt like what someone had told me a suicidal person looked like.
Yeah.
Like what someone that was suffering
Yeah.
looked like.
Your sort of preconceived sort of ideas
like,
on that.
it was as if someone handed me a paper and said, by the way, everything you thought is a lie. And you need to go and tell people that. And you had this overwhelming sense of like, oh my God, like we need to talk about it. Yeah. And what I found was I ended up not kind of talking to people about suicide and not talking to people about, oh, this is how you make your mental health better. I started talking to people about friendship.
Yeah.
And genuinely, that's the thing that will save lives. You know, this is what always fascinates me. Boys and guys especially, we're so quick to tell one another, you know, oh, you should be doing this in the gym. But when it comes to therapy or having certain chats, everyone shies away from it.
Exactly. So everyone cares about it and takes a lot of time over their physical health.
Yeah.
I find it much harder to not only talk about their mental health, but actually understand ways in which we can also look after it.
100%.
But I loved your documentary, Our Silent Emergency, and
Thank you.
the conversations that you had with lots of the individuals there. And the fact that relationships comes out so strongly through that is really powerful. And do you feel you learned things in the documentary you made and the journey you've gone on? Do you feel your views around mental health and suicide have changed?
It's made me realise that, okay, if we really want to make a difference here, we're going to have to go younger. That's why I think the work that you're doing is fantastic, because really that's who we need to be targeting. So obviously, you know, you're working a lot around early childhood. What exactly does that mean?
Early childhood, and there's lots of different ways to talk about it, but for us really it's from pregnancy to the age of 5, because it's when our brain's growing the fastest, it's at its most malleable, so it's really such a critical time to lay the foundations for our future adult selves, really. It's a bit like building a house, and without strong foundations, without this sort of solid start in life, then those building blocks are much harder to build later on in life.
I suppose for kids that haven't had that chance and that opportunity to have a great childhood, it must be even more important, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really important to stress that we can't take a fatalistic outlook on this either. You know, for those who haven't had happy childhoods, they can still go on to happy, healthy lives with the right support and the right interventions as well.
Yeah, it's tough to think that not enough is done about it. I mean, I suppose for yourself as a mother, was this something that you wanted to learn for you as well as like putting it out there?
Yeah, absolutely. And the key things that I've come away with and what I've learned the most is, and which is what the science says really, is that the importance of having healthy and strong relationships in a child's life is really critical. Having a nurturing environment and having experiences in which a child can really understand and discover not only themselves but also the world in which they live. You know, these are the key things that we should really be focusing on early childhood, because they set us up for so many things later on in life.
Yeah, I guess it makes who we are.
Yeah, exactly.
So the campaign, Shaping Us, you've just launched it. I mean, for those that don't know what it is, how would you describe it? What is it that you want to achieve?
I suppose fundamentally we're trying to raise the importance of early childhood and why it matters so much for our future lives. This is sort of a fundamental sort of part of who we are, but it's trying to unpack it too. I suppose the claymation film, there's a huge amount of science and information in there as well, so we try to break it down into bite-sized videos that are hopefully accessible for everyone to learn a bit more about what matters and why it matters as well. This isn't just about raising kids, it's about shaping our futures and shaping not only the adults we become, but shaping our society, creating a happier, healthier, more nurturing world for us all to live in.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the dream.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear a little bit about your childhood. You know, what was it like?
Genuinely, I always say that the best part of my life is my family, and it has shaped who I am, 100%. Again, it's so difficult. I mean, all you have to do is look around, especially, you know, at the country, and see people are not just struggling with raising kids; they're struggling with just putting a roof above their heads to be able to heat their house. So all of those things can come into play.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the thing: is that every family is different.
Yeah.
And, you know, the pressures that we all face are different. Whilst raising the importance of early childhood, this isn't about putting extra pressure on families. It's actually saying they need the support and the help, reprioritising family life, home life, and all that it takes really in raising children today, because it is tough. The relationships in a family or that's surrounding a child is so important. The environment in which you bring up a child is as important, as well as the experiences that you engage them with. It's not about the number of toys that they've got or the number of sort of trips that you go on with them. It's just making sure they have got the right emotional support around them. And that comes from the adults in their lives.
I've been very loved throughout my life, and that's a privilege to be able to say that, but to make it a normality would be nice.
Yeah. And love goes a long way.
Yes.
It's very true. Well, Roman, thank you so much. It's been great to have a chat. Really inspiring to hear you talk not only about your work, but your vision too for where you want to look next and what you want to try and achieve.
Anytime. It's a great topic, and it's one that needs to be talked about.
Yeah. And it's great to share our shared mission.
Precisely.
Helping support kids from the earliest point we can.